I'm going back to the Sephiroth Heretic quest, and I am going to be doing it again with a slightly different team. This time I am bringing Lightning, Gladio, and Kurasame with an Amidatelion friend and a Diabolos summon. So I'm actually not 100% certain whether I'm going to post both clears of this event or whether I'm just going to post this team or how I'm going to do it, because I did actually complete this before, and I did it with a team of Lightning, Warrior of Light, and a native Amidatelion, and I had a Lightning friend. And I think I also used Diabolos there. But this time I want to do it with a little bit of a slightly different team. So instead of Wall, I'm bringing Gladio. Instead of my own Ami, I'm bringing Kurasame. And then I'll bring in a friend Ami as well. It works better this way because of how the mechanics of the fight work. Because they will cleanse their debuffs periodically, but they won't do it after 50% health, so that is the ideal time to bring in Ami. And what I actually also want to do is I want to show you that it is actually possible to beat it without Lightning's Burst. So I do have Lightning's Burst weapon, and I do have the passive for it, but I'm going to try not to use Lightning's actual burst, because there might be some people out there that have only got her LD. In which case, if you are able to field a team that looks like this, you should be good to go, because I've tested this and it looks fine. I do have Reno for the call ability, because that does help. So again, this might not be something that people are necessarily able to do, but I do actually find that Reno helps massively with this strategy, because he has a framed Lightning in Peril that you get when you bring him in at EX plus 2 out of 3. So if you have all these LDs, for example, but you don't have the Lightning Burst, I mean, chances are there aren't going to be many people in that position, so maybe this isn't going to be that helpful. But I want to do it anyway, just to show you that it's possible. So without further ado, let's jump into it. So I'm bringing Diabolos because we're going to be taking HP damage, and both Lightning and Kurasame are going to benefit from the weakness damage. So on the first team with Wall and Ami, I brought Diabolos for the Int Brave, but here I'm just bringing it for the damage boost. So of course we are absolutely going to go into our EX first thing. Go, very nice. First turn, let's go in with the Tempest. And I'm actually not going to use Absolute Zero this turn. I'm gonna use it next turn, because Lightning here is not really going to be able to get to. She's not going to get to do her crushing blow delays, so I kind of want the thing to go to 5 stacks. And I'm not going to use Impulse with Gladio just yet, because that would also be something of a waste. I'm going to save that for later. So, we are going to pop Lightning's LD. So everyone here does have the high armor as well, including Gladio. It's definitely optional, but this is how I'm rolling with it. So I'm actually I'm using the 2-turn delay here, but I mean actually that's not really strictly necessary, because we do want to use Impulse with Gladio to get those juicy counters going at some point, so may not be the greatest idea. Yeah, I'll use Flourish Plus because of the higher potency, and then HP attack. Smash Strike Plus. It's just the rhythm I've got going. I guess delays are not too bad because we've got Kurasame's debuff on them. Let's try and spread the damage out a bit. That one's on 85%. We want to get them down roughly evenly if possible. Because once they go below 80% health, they do indeed cleanse. Oh, and we've got B over here, thinks he's being clever with his going into his red aura, which is kind of annoying. Let's make sure Ice Reaper is targeted on the one that does not have the red aura. Okay, so that red aura basically makes all the bravery damage that you do into one bravery damage. So it's exactly as cancerous as it sounds. And they like to constantly put up bravery shields as well, which is just all sorts of awesome. So here I'm going to use Impulse for the first time because we've got a string of A turns. Oh, they've both gone into the red mode, which is... oh my goodness, this is really not good. So I'm not going to use any skills here because there's absolutely no point. Oh god, and I just used a... oh god, right. Okay, we're going to take some damage here. Well, lightning is, apparently, and no one else. But that's actually completely fine, because we need to take some damage to get the Diabolus passive to proc in the first place. So I'm actually just going to do a skill 1, because we'll get a nice juicy launch here. And I am going to use Maelstrom. So thankfully we got a little bit of regen there, because this is going to be quite rough from B. But Gladio does have HP damage reduction as well, so Lightning should barely survive this, if I'm correct. Yeah, there we go. Like I said, but it's fine. We can heal up with the regen from Gladio, so that's completely fine. So I am gonna Renzan on this dude again, just to get the stacks up, and you can see Kurasame's damage has instantly increased because we've got Diabolos passive to be active. So that is all well and good. And I don't like those purple numbers from that thing, so I'm just absolutely going to Tempest. Right, so what we want to try and do here is we want to try and get the enemies to... we want to try and get them below 50% health at the same time, because that is when they are going to do another cleanse, and that's when the orb comes back up, and then at that point you can't get rid of the orb. Like, it's there to stay. It's a permanent resident at that point. So, like, once you get the first orb out of the way, this is kind of a breather period where you can kind of more or less do whatever. But you just make sure that you don't DPS them down too fast, so that you're not prepared for it. So we need to Dawnhammer on Mr. B. I mean, yeah, there we go. And they're just going to keep putting up these brave shields, and it's really obnoxious. But there's not really much that you can do about it, to be honest. So as you can see, our lightning has indeed lost her her LD effect, and we should, according to the rotation, we should be doing Flourish of Steel here. But because A's got an all attack, I'm just going to use Spike Strike for the bravery fund. And then yeah, go into this mode apparently. So okay, fuck it. Let's just use the LD. Yeah, I've seen the launch on that guy. I'm not going to take that yet. I can do better than this. So A doesn't have its red aura up, so that's actually fine. Okay, I am missing a launch off here, but I kind of want the free turn with lightning. I want the bravery fund for this all attack, you know. Okay, so of course it goes up with the brave shield because of course it does. Yeah, that is 100% AoE by the way, so that's why I'm being very cautious with that. Just do a regular HP attacks on B. Just try and maximise the amount of turns that Gladio gets, so he gets the most out of his counter. There we go. Shield's nice and broken. Speaking of broken, they're both going to go below 50% health here, which is lovely. It means it's almost time to bring out the big guns. So they both move below 50% health now, and they also delay their turn, which is... it is what it is. So it is not quite time yet. To use... the time is approaching that we're actually going to be using our Reno call ability, but we don't want to use it yet, because what we want is we want to get up Kurasame's debuff, and we also want to have Gladio counter to get up his frame debuff for the defense downs. And then once that's done, then we can use stuff like that. Yeah, so I'm just going to go straight in with the EX. Let's not mess around. God damn it! Lightning needs to stop getting turn rate like this extremely. Okay, so A is going to do the all attack. Okay, now is when we pop the Reno call. That's going to get the nice framed lightning and barrel on there. And yep, let us. I'm going to pop Crushing Blow here because we need to get the shields gone. I'm not going to use Army of One here. I'm going to use a regular HP attack. And then with Kura, we are going to Absolute Zero. So we want to keep Kurasame in because his damage output is higher than Gladio's. Okay, now here what we want to do is we swap out for Amidatelion. and then they are completely flooded with frame debuffs, so now they cannot get up their bravery shields. So I'm actually just going to go straight into the summon, because this is a launch op, and we can absolutely take all the turn advantage here that we possibly can. And pretty much have this fight on lockdown from this point forwards, really. Like, I don't even need to use lightning burst effect at this point. They cannot put their they can't put their shields back up, and they can't really do much of anything because they're just going to get turn deleted the whole time. We still have an LD left with lightning, so yeah, I think it's safe to say that this battle is pretty much won. So I'm definitely going to use LD during the summon, because we have the highest max bravery that way. So we do the most damage, naturally. Yeah, you just try and put your buffs up. You can't do a thing, mate. Oh look, and we get a launch as well. How stupidly convenient is that? Wow, Kurasame's debuff is so insanely good. Okay, let's use the LD. Well, we've got Amidatelion on the field and we've got like crazy ass bravery gen. We might as well just use this, you know what I mean? So just look at the amount of HP damage that we're doing compared to the bravery that we have. So it's like 70k just turns into like friggin' 115. Now it is important to take them out at roughly the same time, because once you kill one of them, then the other one becomes immune to debuffs, and it will also cleanse all of its existing debuffs as well. So that is definitely something that you want to bear in mind. So I could really just burst here and just completely end it, but I'm not going to do that because, as I said, I wanted to clear this without using any bursts, which is very much possible because Amidatelion is ridiculous, and these bosses are kind enough not to cleanse once they get below 50% health, which is a large part of the reason this is even possible. And Kurasame's Crystal 65 still hits insanely hard. Like, in terms of the amount of damage it does in a single turn to a single target, it is pretty strong for an additional ability, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not entirely sure why lightning is actually kind of crazily breaking the damage cap. I don't know if it's got something to do with, like, it's probably because I brought in the Amy that I brought in, or the Amidatelion that I brought in, probably has like the high armor. So because when you bring in a friend, it does these kinds of funky things. Oh, okay, we went way overkill on that enemy. So now we just have 9 turns to destroy it without any debuffs, which we should still manage. Let's HP attack for the battery. And if you're not dead here, I'll be very, very surprised. Okay, I am very surprised. Alright, friggin' Kurasame, free turn, finish it off. There we go. Excellent. So that is going to be my alternative run of the Sephiroth Heretic, and this is going to be done without using any burst abilities. So it is possible, but I would highly recommend. I don't know if the Reno call is important. You can probably get away without that as well. It just helps out Lightning's damage because of that framed imperil. Because once you stick all the enemies full of framed debuffs, Lightning's imperil is like a regular debuff, so it's not going to have any frames on it. So you do need to be, her damage output will drop off a cliff if you're not careful. But you know, with Amidatelion, because Amidatelion has so much regen, you might not even need the Reno call either. If you use, you have Gladio's counter is 1 frame debuff, and then you have Kurasame's Hyoro, and then you have 4 debuffs from Ami. So you can do it without Reno. Flood the debuff bar. You just need to make sure you call in Ami at the right time. Okay, so that's going to be it. I hope everyone enjoyed. I hope you're not having too much trouble with this Luffy. It is infamous for a reason. Like, this was a pretty clean run, but if you don't know what to do and you're not prepared, it is absolutely one of the hardest ones I've played so far. So, thanks everyone again, and until the next time, take care and goodbye.